Excuse me, what time is it?
It's 5:30.
It's 5:30, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
By the way, my name is Mi. Nice to meet you.
My name is Hằng. Nice to meet you too.
So your name is Hằng, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Nice name.
Thanks. Your name is good too.
Thanks. May I ask you some question about your daily routine?
Yes, of course.
What time do you usually get up in the morning?
I usually get up at 5 in the morning.
At 4:45 in the morning?
Yes.
And after getting up, what do you usually do after getting up?
Well, after getting up, I usually study English.
Study English?
Yes.
Do you usually study English?
I study English. I'm sorry. Yes, I do. I do it very often.
You do it very often?
Yes.
How often do you study English?
I study English every day.
Every day?
Yes.
What time do you usually study English?
I usually study English at 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock?
Yes.
Who do you usually study English with?
I usually study English with my friends.
With your friends?
Yes.
How long does it take you to study English?
It takes me about 1 hour to study English.
1 hour?
Yes.
And after studying English, what do you usually do after studying English?
Well, after studying English, I usually have breakfast.
Have breakfast?
Yes.
Do you usually have breakfast? Do you usually have breakfast?
Yes, I do. I do it very often.
You do it very often?
Yes.
What time do you usually have breakfast?
I usually have breakfast at 6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Who do you usually have breakfast with?
I usually have breakfast with my friends.
With your friends?
Yes.
How long does it take you to have breakfast?
It takes me about 20 minutes to have breakfast.
20 minutes?
Yes.
And after having breakfast, what do you usually do after having breakfast?
Well, after having breakfast, I usually go to school.
Go to school?
Yes.
Do you like going to school?
Yes, but not very much.
Not very much?
Yes.
How far is it from room to your school?
It's about 500 meters from my room to my school.
500 meters?
Yes.
How do you usually go to school?
I usually go to school on foot.
On foot?
Yes.
How long does it take you to go to school?
It takes me about 10 minutes to go to school.
10 minutes?
Yes.
What time do you usually go to school?
I usually go to school at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
Yes.
Who do you usually go to school with?
I usually go to school with my friends.
With your friends?
Yes.
And after going to school, what do you usually do after going to school?
Well, after going to school, I usually come back home.
Come back home?
Yes.
What time do you usually come back home?
I usually come back home at the quarter to 12.
At a quarter to 12?
Yes.
And after coming back home, what do you usually do after coming back home?
Well, after coming back home, I usually cook lunch.
Cook lunch?
Yes.
Do you usually cook lunch?
Yes, I do. I do it very often.
You do it very often?
Yes.
How often do you cook lunch?
I cook lunch every day.
Every day?
Yes.
What time do you usually cook lunch?
I usually cook lunch at 12 o'clock.
At 12 o'clock?
Yes.
Who do you usually cook lunch with?
I usually cook lunch with my friends.
With your friends?
Yes.
How long does it take you to cook lunch?
It takes me about 30 minutes to cook lunch.
30 minutes?
Yes.
And after cooking lunch, what do you usually do after cooking lunch?
Well, after cooking lunch, I usually have lunch.
Have lunch?
Yes.
What time do you usually cook lunch?
I usually cook lunch at
what time do you usually have lunch?
I usually have lunch at 12:30.
At 12:30?
Yes.
Who do you usually have lunch with?
I usually have lunch with my friends.
With your friends?
Yes.
How long does it take you cook lunch? How long does it take you to have lunch?
It takes me about 30 minutes to have lunch.
30 minutes?
Yes.
And after having lunch, what do you usually do after having lunch?
Well, after having lunch, I usually have a nap.
Have a nap?
Yes.
Do you usually have a nap?
Yes, I do. I do it very often.
You do it very often?
Yes.
What time do you usually have a nap?
I usually have a nap. I'm sorry. I usually have a nap at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Yes.
And after having nap, what do you usually do after having nap?
Well, after having a nap, I usually have a bath.
Have a bath?
Yes.
What time do you usually have a bath?
I usually have a bath at 4 o'clock.
At 4 o'clock?
Yes.
And after having a bath, what do you usually do after having a bath?
Well, after having a bath, I usually have dinner.
Have dinner?
Yes.
Do you usually have dinner?
Yes, I do. I do it very often.
You do it very often?
Yes.
What time do you usually have dinner? I'm sorry. What time do you usually have dinner?
I usually have dinner at 6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Who do you usually have dinner with?
I usually have dinner with my friends.
With your friends?
Yes.
How long does it take you to have dinner?
It takes me about 20 minutes to have dinner.
20 minutes?
Yes.
And after having dinner, what do you usually do after having dinner?
Well, after having dinner, I usually study.
Study?
Yes.
Do you like studying?
Yes, I like it very much.
You like it very much?
Yes.
How often do you study?
I study every day.
Every day?
Yes.
What time do you usually study?
I usually study at 7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock?
Yes.
Who do you usually study with?
I usually study with my friends.
With your friends?
Yes.
How long does it take you to study?
It takes me about 3 hours to study.
3 hours?
Yes.
And after studying, what do you usually do after studying?
Well, after studying, I usually go to bed.
Go to bed?
Yes.
What time do you usually go to bed? I'm sorry. What time do you usually go to bed?
I usually go to bed at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock?
Yes.
And before going to bed, what do you usually do after? I'm sorry. And before going to bed, what do you usually do before going to bed?
Well, before going to bed, I usually read books.
Read books?
Yes.
Do you like reading books?
Yes, I like it very much.
You like it very much?
Yes.
How often do you How often do you read books?
I read books every day.
Every day?
Yes.
Who do you usually read books with?
I usually read books alone.
Alone?
Yes.
How long does it take you to read books?
It takes me about 30 minutes to read books.
30 minutes?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, see you later.
See you later, ta-ta.
Ta-ta.